For my entire adult life, up until a couple of months ago, I was an instant coffee person. Now, don't get me wrong, I love ground coffee and I have it every chance I get, but I'm the only coffee drinker in the house. My girlfriend only drinks tea. My preference is for stronger, smaller coffees, but I've never really found a brewing setup that works for me at home. Cafetières make too much and it's often not strong enough. Pour-overs seem to lose a bit of that rich, dark flavour that I personally enjoy in coffee. I don't like the idea of the plastic waste from pod machines, and like many casual coffee appreciators, I just can't justify the expense of a proper espresso machine. I want strong coffee with simple prep on a budget. Impossible? That's what I thought, but then I discovered the Moka pot, and I'm not joking here, it kind of changed my life. You'll have seen this cute little Art Deco coffee brewer before, I'm sure. Bialetti have been making these since the 30s, and they are cheap. You can get this one, the 3-cup Moka pot, brand new for about £20, and I see them in charity shops all the time, and always less than a £5. So how do you make coffee with it? First up, unscrew the top section from the base. Inside the base you'll find this little funnel insert, and this is where you put your ground coffee. Pull this out, and this empty chamber in the base is where you'll add your water. On the underside of the top section, you'll find this little filter held in place with a rubber gasket. You can get both of these out pretty easily with a gentle poke when you need to clean them later. So now you know all the bits. Pretty simple, huh? Let's get to it. First, you'll obviously need ground coffee. Now, I'm not going to judge you if you buy pre-ground coffee. I've been drinking instant for 20 years after all. But if you're also looking to add a cheap, stylish grinder to your setup, you need to get yourself on eBay. I just picked up this 1950s Zassenhaus coffee grinder for £18. Their 2020 equivalent is almost £100 brand new. Even though this is 70 years old, it still works absolutely beautifully. Anyway, so you've got your coffee ground to this sort of consistency, or however it came in the bag. Whatever. So long as it's not super fine like dust or big and crunchy like coarse sand, anywhere in the middle you'll be fine. Fill the chamber with cold water, using the little pressure valve thing on the side as a guide of how far to fill it up. Some professionals say to fill it up with boiling water to reduce the brewing time, but handling a boiling hot metal cup is a disaster waiting to happen in my opinion. I really don't mind if it takes an extra minute to brew. Okay, now plop the funnel into the base and fill it up with your ground coffee. You don't need to tamp it down hard, just fill it, pat it with your spoon, and try to level it off on the top. If you've got any coffee grounds on the screw part around the edge, don't worry about it, just wipe it away with your finger to make sure the seal is nice and secure. Now screw the top on. Okay, now get it on the hob. These little monsters can be heated with electric hobs, gas fires, even camping stoves, but they're aluminium, not ferrous, so fancy induction hobs won't work. Here's a quick tip: if you have an electric hob like me, make sure the handle is over the edge and not over the ring, as it'll get incredibly hot. It won't melt, but it will burn you when you touch it. Having it over the edge will keep it cool enough to handle. As the Moka pot heats up, pressure builds up inside the chamber, forcing hot water up through the funnel, through the coffee, through the filter, and then up through the spout into the little jug in the top. It's not high enough pressure to create a true espresso, but it's certainly stronger than anything else I've managed to brew at home. Coffee YouTubers and Instagram influencers love to leave the lid open so you can see the coffee start to pour through the spout. It looks very cool and you'll definitely do it the first couple of times you brew using the Moka pot, but my advice is to close the lid. If you leave it open and brew your coffee while you do something else, like making breakfast, as it finishes brewing it starts sputtering everywhere. If the lid is down, this is contained. If it's open, it goes all over the place. You can actually hear when it's finished. As soon as it starts doing this hissy bubble, it's done. Immediately take it off the heat and pour it into your favorite coffee cup. Oh yes. Now let's really quickly talk about the boring bit, cleaning. Some people clean their Moka pots after every use, some people never clean them, but as I tend to have 3 or 4 cups a day, I usually just rinse the parts out with water between brews and then give them a proper clean in the evening when I know I'm not going to be drinking any more that day. That way it's nice and clean and ready to go the next morning. Now if I really want to give future me a nice start to his day, I'll load it up with coffee so it's ready to go first thing in the morning. If you're going to be leaving it for a few days, unscrew it just slightly so the pressure is relieved on the rubber gasket. This way it'll last a bit longer too. So that's it. I hope you found this useful. If you want to try a Moka pot out for yourself, you can find a link in the video description and pinned in the comments to the exact one I'm using here. Now, if you're thinking of subscribing for cool coffee and cooking content, get ready to be seriously disappointed. I paint Warhammer models. The format and style of the videos are very similar though, so you still might enjoy them, even though they are unashamedly nerdy. I actually made a sister video to this one where I make textured bases for the models using old coffee grounds, and it worked surprisingly well. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time maybe. Bye for now.